Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you guys how to create this watercolor looking design using your soak off gels. You can use pretty much any thinner consistency colored gel that you happen to have. If it's your gel polish in bottles, if you've got your gel in tubs or your gel paints. I wouldn't really recommend using a colored builder gel to do this. The product is too thick and you won't get the right consistency. So what I'm going to be using today to do this design, if you guys haven't already checked these out, you pretty much need to because this whole new collection is seriously amazing. We're going to be using 4 colors from the new Luxio Spring Summer collection. So we're going to be using Engagement, Delightful, Crush, and Attraction. And we're going to be using some of the Gel Art Black and the Gel Play Glistening Gold. So you'll need 4 colors of your choice. You're going to need a mixing palette and a little dappen dish with your prep and wipe liquid or whatever liquid you happen to use for your gel cleaning. I've gone ahead and done my tip up already. I've just put on 2 coats of white gel and don't remove your tacky layer. You're definitely going to want to keep that on there, the dispersion layer. That will help keep all your designs in place. And for my brush, I'm just using my little 00 brush. See how tiny that is? I love this brush. This is my go-to for all my design work. And for this look that we're creating here today, you don't need a big heavy brush. Just something really tiny and small is all you're going to need. All right, so let's get started. When you're doing this design, there's not really any right or wrong with how you choose to do this. We're just going to be making a random kind of abstract pattern. So you don't really need to follow anything specific. You can definitely make a design with this. Like say you're doing something for, I don't know, Christmas or Halloween, or if you're drawing a flower or whatever, you can definitely make your design with this as well. But we're just going to do something a little bit abstract today. So when you're thinning out your colors, I'm going to put my brush in my liquid here, and I'm just going to pull a little bit of my product out on my palette and just thin it right out. And that's all we're doing. This is why the bonus of working with a soak-off gel works so much better than a thick builder gel, because what you want to do is thin the product out and create a really watered down version of your color. The more liquid that you add, you're going to have a thinner color. So it just depends on what consistency you're looking for, how thin you want to make your color. Only mix 1 color at a time though, because if you go ahead and mix all of these with your liquid's going to evaporate, and then you're just going to have to go back and mix it again. So start with 1 color at a time. And this is looking pretty good. So I'm just going to place some color around, and you can see as the color goes on how it lays down on our existing color quite nicely. Makes a nice little outline. And the liquid is going to evaporate out of this pretty quickly too, so you don't need to worry about your product running around. As soon as that prep and wipe leaves the gel, it's pretty much there. It's going to stay exactly where you put it. So we'll just move on to our next color. And the nice thing is with working with your gels like this, you can layer and go back over top. So I don't like to put on a whole bunch of 1 color all at one time. I just kind of like to place my gel where I like it, and then if I need a little bit more, I go back and add more. And I'm not going to worry about curing this in between either, just because the gel is going to stay where I put it. It's not going to move around. So you don't need to worry about freeze curing anything. You can if you want to, but it's not really necessary. I'll put a little bit of pink up here. And make sure that you clean your brush really well in between each color. Otherwise your colors are going to get muddied up and you won't really have a nice bright tone to work with. And you can see how I'm thinning this out. It's not getting too thin, but thin enough. Because you still want to have your colors pop a little bit against your background too. And as you can see that your gel is starting to dry up, just go back and add a little bit more liquid each time. Won't hurt it. And we're going to overlap just a little bit too. And we'll add in some purple. And a little bit up here. I think I'd like to go back and just add a little bit more blue into the center. So we're just going to go back and re-wet this same gel that we used before. And we're going to throw a little bit right in here, I think, just because we can. And a little bit more down here at the bottom. And we are going to go back and add some black detail to this, so don't worry about filling up all your empty spaces right this very second, because I am going to throw a little bit more detail in. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of empty space to work with here still too. All right, so when you're happy with what you've got here, we're going to cure this. I'm using my LED light, so this will take 30 seconds to cure. If you're using your UV lamp, then give it the full 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. So this is our cured design. So what we're going to do now is come in with our gel art black, and we're still going to need our liquid as well. So make sure that you've cleaned your brush out really well. All your other colors are gone. We're just going to lightly dip into our black, and I just want a little teeny bit on our brush. See how much I have there? Tiny little bit of product. And we're just going to draw some really fine lines. Super thin, super tiny. I'm using very light pressure on my brush, hardly any. I don't want my lines to be thick, I just want them to be very thin. And you can just draw some lines where you feel you would like to. I'm going to outline this center piece a little bit. And we'll go over around the end piece. And I think we're going to fill in the middle a little bit here as well. And again, there's no real pattern to this, no real exact way you need to fill in your lines. Basically, whatever you feel you would like to do. And don't worry at this point if they look a little bit thick and black. We're going to go over this with our liquid again and thin them out some more. So back into our liquid, and we're just going to go right over a few of these and thin it out and soften this black. So we're going to water it down and smudge it up a little bit. And it gives the black a whole different effect. It softens it right up. So you still have that definition, but that way it's not so harsh. So now that we have this step done, I'm going to go back and add a little bit more, just soft detail again. Again, I barely have anything on my brush, just a tiny little bit of black. We're just going to crisp up a few of those lines a tiny little bit. And super light pressure on your brush. There's hardly anything on my brush, hardly any product, and I'm just adding a little bit of detail where we need to crisp up just a few lines, not a lot. And you can kind of see where your black lines from before have smudged around a little bit and where you need to bring those back into focus. That's all basically where I'm adding a little bit more definition. Perfect. So there's our finished look. I'm going to go ahead and cure this again. And to finish off this tip, I am going to take a little bit of my glistening gold and we're just going to outline this. You can do this definitely for a set of nails if you want to just create that little bit of a finishing touch. I find sometimes when you're doing just a complete white nail, it sort of loses a little bit when it's finished because there's not a lot of definition around the outside. This just is a really neat little way to finish off your look. And it just sort of helps pull everything together. And you can also use these glittery gel play paints too if you wanted to water this one out. This looks really, really pretty if you wanted to create this as part of your design too. It just creates a really pretty thin, very subtle watery glitter, and you can add that into your look too. All right, so we're going to cure this and I'll be right back. And we're just going to finish our design with a coat of shine on. I absolutely love this product. If you guys haven't tried it yet, you need to. And I love how once you put the top coat on top of this, it just pulls it all together. Softens everything up and just makes this really, really, really pretty look. All right, so 30 seconds or 2 minutes in your UV. And here's our finished tip. I love how this watercolor design looks. It's so pretty. So hopefully that helped you guys a little bit. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can pretty much use anything with this. Try it with your existing gels. Try it, your soak-offs, your pot gels. Basically anything that is a soak-off, a thinner colored gel will work really well for this. So go ahead and play, try some new things, and I'd love to see your designs. I'd love to see how you guys make out with this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.